So hello students, this is Rasul, Faculty of History. We are doing a series of videos as part of APPSC Group 2 History is concerned. So in this session, we'll take another important chapter as far as APPSC Group 2 History is concerned. So manam last videos lo bhanga we have referred the syllabus, the first unit of socio and cultural history of Andhra Pradesh. So the first unit మనం ఈ విధంగా డిమార్కేట్ చేసుకోవడం జరిగింది ఫర్ అబౌట్ లైక్ the 5 chapters. సో ప్రీ హిస్టారిక్ కల్చర్స్ నుంచి మనం స్టార్ట్ చేసాం. ప్రీ హిస్టారిక్ కల్చర్స్ లైక్ దీస్ ఆర్ ది రెస్పెక్టివ్ కల్చర్స్. సో ఫాలోడ్ బై ప్రీ శాతవాహన ఏజ్, శాతవాహనాస్, పోస్ట్ శాతవాహనాస్ ఇస్లో భాగంగా ఇక్ష్వాకుస్, విష్ణు కుండిన్స్ అండ్ అదర్ డినాస్టీస్ మనం డిస్కస్ చేసాం. ప్రీవియస్ ఇయర్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అట్ ద సేమ్ టైమ్ కాన్సెప్చువల్ బేస్డ్ క్వశ్చన్స్. నౌ సెకండ్ టాపిక్లో భాగంగా, ద సెకండ్ కాంపొనెంట్లో భాగంగా we are going to discuss the respective chapters. So in the previous video we did on Mcqs, వాళ్ళ socio economic aspects మీద at the same time few political questions రావడం జరిగింది, మనం డిస్కస్ చేసాం. Now in this session we'll start with regional dynasties. So after the decline of Mcqs in Andhra Desha, for about half a dozen smaller dynasties have ruled. So Haiheya dynasties antam, like Cholas antam, like the later Cholas, we have different dynasties. Ante konni factual information nu teeskoni at the same time conceptual content teeskoni manam ee questions tayar cheyadam jarigindi. So start with the first question. The dynasties that ruled over Andhra Desha during the Middle Ages mainly belong to which caste annappudu? Its right answer is Shudra caste. In fact, we have a concept called Sanskritization. Right? Sanskritization. Samskrutikarana antam Telugulo. Right? Sanskritization. So generally in Chaturvana system, Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras, Kshatriyas happen to be rulers. Where in Chaturvana system, right? When it comes to heterodox religions, there was no heterodox religions in the sense like the Jainam ganivandi, Bauddham ganivandi, migita other religions ganivandi, where we never found such kind of distinctions. So on few occasions we found Brahmins as rulers. Such kind of phenomenon were called as Brahmin Kshatriyas. So Brahmins by caste, Kshatriyas by profession. For example, as part of Indian history, you might have learnt a topic called Shungas. Shungas, by caste, they were Brahmins, but they adopted the profession called Kshatriyas. Now, with this background, come to the question. The question says, the dynasties that ruled over the Andhra Desha during the Middle Ages mainly belong to which caste annappudu? So, they belonged to Shudra caste. So, many Shudra castes, because of Sanskritization, assumed the current character called high profile ranks, and having understood the inefficiency of Chola-Chalukyans, they defied the authority of Chola-Chalukyans and declared themselves as what we call as rulers. So Shudra caste. Right answer for first question, option 4. The second question, which of the following is a translation of Keyura Bahu Charita? Manaku chaala exams lo question adigaru, especially group 2 lo. Keyura Bahu Charita written by Manchana. Right? In fact, it's in strictly speaking, it's in translation. Ante ee Samskruta grandhaniki anuvadamu antam Telugulo. Same Indian history lo, for example, Dandi, a Sanskrit scholar, otherwise called as Dandi Mahakavi, he authored a Sanskrit text called Dasha Kumara Charita. Dandi, one of the famous scholars, Sanskrit scholars, belong to Pallavan period, right? Lived in the court of Narasimhavarma II. Authored a book called Dashakumara Charita. This particular Sanskrit text got translated into Telugu language by Ketana. Belong to Kakatiya period. In fact, I'll be going to speak on the next session, Kakatiyas. Right? After the same towards, Rajashekara's Vidhasala Banjika అంటే రాజశేఖరుడు రచించినటువంటి విద్యసాల బంజిక అనే సంస్కృత గ్రంథాన్ని మళ్ళీ మనకు మాంఛన అనే తెలుగు కవి ట్రాన్స్లేట్ చేయడం జరిగింది అండ్ ద ట్యాగ్ కాల్డ్ కేయూర బాహు చరిత. The third one, identify the incorrect statement about Brahmanayudu, otherwise called as Palanati Brahmanayudu. One of the major topics of regional dynasties of Andhra Desha. So after Vengi Chalukyans, we found like at least half a dozen regional dynasties. Mali ee half a dozen regional dynasties lo manaku Haiheya Vamshamu అని ఉంటుంది. Haiheya dynasties to which like సే మనకు మాచర్ల కింగ్డమ్ కానివ్వండి, పల్నాడు కింగ్డమ్ కానివ్వండి సంబంధించి ఉంటుంది. సో ఈ మేజర్ టాపిక్ మీద ఫోకస్ చేయండి. సో ఐడెంటిఫై ద ఇన్కరెక్ట్ స్టేట్మెంట్ అబౌట్ బ్రహ్మనాయుడు. ద ఫస్ట్ ఫస్ట్ ఆప్షన్, his aim was to establish a casteless society. In fact, strictly speaking, so Brahmanayudu, besides the prime minister, you call him as a social reformer, was also a religious reformer who fought for casteless society, like who fought for egalitarian principles. So his aim was to establish a casteless society. In order to in order to promote casteless society, he also started a program called Chapakudu Vyavastha antam Telugulo. Second one, he belonged to the Velama caste. The third one, he is popularly known as Palanati Vishnu. The fourth one, he established a religious sect called Sri Vaishnavism. So since the question is incorrect, the right answer is fourth one, because Sri Vaishnavism, one of the subsects of Vaishnavism. In fact, in Hinduism we found two sects, that is Shaivism and Vaishnavism, and in Shaivism we found so many subsects. Apply the same towards in Vaishnavism we also found so many subsects. One of the subsects of Vaishnavism happened to be Sri Vaishnavism. It was started by Ramanujacharya in 11th century AD. So incorrect statement వచ్చేసి మనకు fourth one. The aim of the Chapakudu system, మనం ఇందాక రెఫర్ చేసాం. The aim of the Chapakudu system, option 1, eradication of child marriages, ending the caste discriminations, curbing the superstitious beliefs, and fourth one, abolition of sati practice. The right answer is ending the caste discriminations. అంటే కులరహిత సమాజాన్ని స్థాపించడం కోసము ఈయన ఈ వ్యవస్థను ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేయడం జరిగిందంట. ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ not only Brahmanayudu and Andhra context, throughout say మనకు medieval ages లో ఇలాంటి ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ చాలా మంది ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేయడం జరిగింది. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, when you go to what we call say north western India, Punjab ఆ region లో మనకు langar, while you're reading a topic, you should be in a position to connect with other topics. Langar, now this particular system was introduced by Guru Nanak. What is Chapakudu system in Andhra Desha? Langar in northwestern India, Punjab ee prantalu, to end the caste discrimination. Which of the following Chola emperors married of his daughter to the Chalukya Vimaladitya annappudu? It's in Rajaraja Chola. In fact, even this particular the topic which you have learnt as part of Vengi Chalukyans. So Rajaraja Cholan, the prominent, the ambitious ruler of Tanjavur Chola dynasty. Now the gentleman had no sons but daughter. The only daughter was given in marriage to Chalukya Vimaladitya, and little later Chalukyan rulers had been to Tanjavur and they ruled Tanjavur territories combinedly. Chalukyan and Chola territories combined, and they ruled these territories under the tag called Chola and Chalukya rule. So they took the title called Kulothonga Cholan. So these are the titles. The right answer for fifth question, option 4. Sixth one, identify the correct statement with regards to Manumasiddhi. Manumasiddhi second. So one of the rulers from Nellore kingdom, right? The first statement, he was the feudatory of Ganapati Deva. The second statement, he built Siddheshwar temple in Krishnapatnam. In fact, the factual information correct, he took the title called Veera Ganda Gopala. In fact, it's one of the regional titles, one of the the very I would say humble titles we found almost all Andhra rulers took, Veera Ganda Gopala. As far as the first statement is concerned, it's an incorrect. He was not the feudatory of what we call say Ganapati Deva. So what is left annappudu? 2 and 3. The seventh one, the famous Telugu poet deputed as envoy by Manumasiddhi to the court of Ganapati Deva to get the help of the later was. That is, in fact, it's in factual information, that is Tikkana Somayaji. మనం లాస్ట్ క్లాస్లో రెఫర్ చేశాం, దట్ ఈస్ కవిత్రయ, ద 3 famous Telugu scholars who are responsible for translating 18 chapters of Mahabharata, Sanskrit Mahabharata into Telugu language, and one of the famous scholars happened to be Tikkana, who got translated Sanskrit version into Telugu version for about 15 chapters antam. So Nannaya, Tikkana and Errana, Tikkana Somayaji. 8th one, which one of the following inscriptions is credited with the first inscription in Telugu language annappudu? It's an factual information, one of the patent questions of AP history, that is Kalabella inscription. In fact, as you know, aspirants, especially like those who are preparing for competitive exams, be good at concepts. So inscriptions are named after the places from where they discovered. అంటే శాసనాలు ఏ ప్రాంతాల్లో లభిస్తాయో ఆ ప్రాంతాల పేర్లను ఇవ్వడం జరుగుతుంది. Say for example, Kalamella inscription, Chejarla inscription, Addanki inscription, Kurikyala inscription. Kalamella is the name of the village which comes in Kadapa district. So in the earliest Telugu inscription center, which can be dated back to 6th century AD. 9th one, Manuma Siddhi, the Nellore ruler, was killed in the battle called Muttukuru. It's an what we call Sundara Pandya antam. So we found constant conflicts between Nellore rulers and Pandyans. In fact, మనకు నెల్లూరు కింగ్డమ్లో ఒక సివిల్ వార్ జరుగుతుంది, అంతర్యుద్ధం అంటాం తెలుగులో. మళ్ళీ సివిల్ వార్ జరగడం వల్ల, సో నెల్లూరు రూలర్ బై నేమ్ Manuma Siddhi, he was expelled by his what we call say cousin brothers. It was not digested by Tikkana Somayaji, the court historian, or the scholar of Manuma Siddhi. So Tikkana Somayaji had been to what we call Kakatiya kingdom. At this point of time, the Kakatiya ruler happened to be Ganapati Deva. So on the request of Tikkana Somayaji, Ganapati Deva sent Kakatiya forces and made Manuma Siddhi as the ruler of Nellore. అంటే ఎవరైతే ఆయనను మోసం చేసి మళ్ళీ రాజ్యాన్ని లాక్కున్నారో వాళ్ళని ఓడించి మళ్ళీ నెల్లూరు రాజ్యాన్ని మనమ సిద్ధికి ఇవ్వడం జరుగుతుంది. సో మళ్ళీ ఈ కజిన్ బ్రదర్స్ ఎవరైతే ఉన్నారో, సో దే అప్రోచ్ జనరల్లీ లైక్ ఆర్ ఎనిమీస్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్రెండ్, గుడ్ ఫ్రెండ్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్, రైట్? సో దే అప్రోచ్ Pandyan ruler. So we found the fierce battle between Manuma Siddhi forces, Ganapati Deva forces combinedly versus Pandyan forces. Now in this battle, like the combined forces of, that is like Manuma Siddhi and Ganapati Deva forces were defeated by Pandyans. In the same battle, like the ruler of Nellore got killed antam. The 10th one, once again, it's a factual information. Consider the following statements. The first statement, Reddy Nagamma built Veerabhadra Swami temple in Gurajala. Second statement, Brahmanayudu built Chennakeshwar temple in Macharla. The right answer is both these statements are correct. In fact, focus on a fierce battle which fought between two kingdoms popularly called as Palnati Yuddhamu antam Telugulo. Palnati Yuddhamu, right? Battle of Palnad we call it. In fact, ఈ బ్యాటిల్ ఆఫ్ పల్నాడు మనం ఏ విధంగా అర్థం చేసుకోవాలన్నప్పుడు, ఇట్స్ అన్ it's a sectarian conflict, right? Sectarian conflict, at the same time caste conflict. అంటే ప్రతి మతంలో మనకు శాఖలు ఉంటాయి. Take an example of Hinduism. We have two major sects in Hinduism, Shaivism and Vaishnavism. Take an example of Islam, Sunnis and Shias. Christianity, Roman Catholics, but whatever religions you talk about, every religion has like some sort of sects. Now ఇక్కడ మళ్ళీ ఈ పల్నాటి యుద్ధాన్ని మనం సెక్టేరియన్ కాన్ఫ్లిక్ట్గా ఏ విధంగా అర్థం చేసుకోవాలన్నప్పుడు, say for example, Reddy Nagamma belonged to Shaivism when it comes to Brahmanayudu belonged to Vaishnavism. Sectarian conflicts. Nagamma belonged to one of the famous castes. Reddy, when it comes to Brahmanayudu, belonged to one of the famous castes, that is Velamas. So sectarian conflicts, at the same time caste conflicts. మళ్ళీ ఎవరు యుద్ధంలో గెలిచారు అన్నప్పుడు రెడ్డి నాగమ్మ వర్గానికి చెందినటువంటి రాజులు ఎవరైతే ఉన్నారో, లైక్ who took the support of Kakatiyas, and they have got victory in the battle of Palnad, and Brahmanayudu and his associates were brutally killed. That is another story. So right answer for this question, option 3. 11th one, Which of the following statements is incorrect regarding Chandalas? In fact, it's a conceptual based question, you call it. Option A, they were at the lowest social scale, correct. Option B, the very presence of them was shunned by the twice born people. When I say twice born people, we have say Brahmins, followed by Kshatriyas, followed by Vaishyas. Dvijulu antam Telugulo, Brahmin, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas. So when it comes to Ekajas, Shudras, and women of all castes were given the tag called Ekajas antam. Option C, they played a very important part in agrarian economy. Obviously, like, they were the slaves, you call them. And option D, they experienced social mobility, which is fundamentally incorrect. The question is on incorrect. Mobility అనేది మనకు క్యాస్ట్ సిస్టంలో ఉండదు. కీప్ ఇన్ మైండ్. మొబిలిటీ అనేది ఎక్కడ ఉంటుందంటే మనకు క్లాస్ బేస్డ్ సొసైటీస్లో మొబిలిటీ అనేది ఉంటుంది. మనకు క్యాస్ట్ బేస్డ్ సొసైటీలో మొబిలిటీ అనేది ఉండదు. అది సోషల్ మొబిలిటీ కానివ్వండి, కల్చరల్ మొబిలిటీ కానివ్వండి. సో నో మొబిలిటీ ప్లీజ్. ఇన్కరెక్ట్ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఆప్షన్ డి, రైట్. 14th one, which of the following wars that drove out the Velamas that had penetrated into the economic life of Palnadu by defeating the dominant folds of the region? It's one of the previous questions of Group 2 APPSC. So right answer, it's a factual information. The right answer is Battle of Karam Chedu antam. In fact, one more. Which of the following is an incorrect pair annappudu? As I was telling, after the decline of Vengi Chalukyans in Andhra Desha, we found at least like half a dozen smaller dynasties. Mali ee dynasties ను ఒకవైపు మళ్ళీ వాళ్ళు పరిపాలించిన ప్రాంతాలను ఒకవైపు అడగడం జరిగింది. ఇట్స్ అన్ వన్స్ అగైన్ ప్రీవియస్ క్వశ్చన్. దట్ ఈస్ పల్నాడు వాజ్ రూల్డ్ బై dynasty called Haiheya dynasty. రేనాడు వాజ్ రూల్డ్ బై చోలాస్. రేనాటి చోళులు అంటాం తెలుగులో. సో ఆబ్వియస్లీ ఇక్కడ చాళుక్యాస్ అని ఇచ్చారు, ఇన్కరెక్ట్. అండ్ కమ్మనాడు కొనిదెల చోళాస్ అండ్ పాకనాడు నెల్లూరు చోళాస్. Right. So these are the the important at the same time previous year questions which belonged to a chapter called regional dynasties. In the next chapter, I'll be going to speak, that is Kakatiyas. It's an extremely important chapter. In fact, manamu ante ancient Andhra Deshalo bhanga you have to focus on Shatavahanas. Medieval Andhra Deshalo bhanga you have to focus on Kakatiyas, at the same time Vijayanagara Empire and Qutub Shahis. I'm not instructing you people. You can have ignorance on Vengi Chalukyas, regional dynasties and Reddy Nayakas. But so these are the important chapters. Ancient lo Shatavahanas, manaku Ikshvakus ganivandi, Vishnukunis a little bit. When it comes to manaku medieval lo Kakatiyas, Vijayanagara and Qutub Shahis. So in the next video, we'll make what we call important previous questions, at the same time conceptual based questions on Kakatiyas. Thank you.